Hi. So if you clicked on this video, there's a good chance that you've asked the question, should I take my child to see the new movie 8th Grade? And the answer is a little complicated, because I want to say yes. I want to say that everyone should be seeing this movie. But for most cases, the answer is probably. Here's why. Now, 8th Grade is rated R, and that's probably the main reason why you would be hesitant to bring your child to this movie. Now, I saw the movie the first day that it was available to be seen in theaters here, and I can tell you that it is much tamer than any other R-rated movie out there. There are a couple uses of the F-bomb, and nothing really else to warrant the rating except a few mature themes that the characters explore, but these themes are natural to every kid who is in 8th grade, who is going into high school. These are not things that will shock a child who is around 13 to 15, that age range. These are things that happen in their everyday lives. And the thing about 8th grade is that it's not some corporate schmuck trying to mimic what he thinks life in a school is, and it's not out of touch. This movie, it felt very real, more real than any other cinematic experience that I've ever been through. It felt like they went into an actual school and didn't tell anyone that they'd be filming. It felt that natural and that real and that honest. And I feel like that's a main reason that you should look past the couple curse words in this film, because that's an honest part of what makes this movie so good. That's how 8th graders talk. When I was in 8th grade, that's definitely how I talked and how my friends talked and how everyone I knew talked, you know? It's not gonna scar a 14-year-old to hear a bad word coming from another 14-year-old. Now, there are parts in the movie that reference oral sex and some other adult situations, but nothing happens. I mean, it's a bunch of 14-year-olds in this movie. I mean, what do you expect? It's a little curiosity from a main character, and I'm going to leave it at that curiosity is something that I feel like a lot of kids that age have. And if you don't think that your 8th grade child has any curiosity about sex or has ever Googled something or talked about it at school, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. They may tell you no. I told my parents, no, I don't want to hear about it. They know about everything. I spent 2 weeks in Australia with a 14-year-old on a youth group trip, and I was just baffled at how mature and well-versed in the world he was, and just the way he talked and held conversations, and he was only 14 going into his freshman year of high school. And so I think that if you're on the fence about bringing your 8th grade or high school child to this movie, think about why you're on the fence, and think about, what's holding me back, and why do I feel like they're not mature enough? Because I bet if you take them to this movie and you try to have an open and honest discussion with them about it, they will blow your mind away with how mature they are and how much they can handle this kind of thing. Now, that I've just been talking about reasons to not take someone to this movie. Let's talk about the real reasons of why I love this movie so much and why I think that everybody should see this movie. Now, 8th grade, like I said before, is an honest articulation of what it's like to be in middle school in America in this day and age. It goes over social media, it goes over, crushes, it goes over a lot of different experiences in ways that I felt like I had never seen in any platform of media before. And it made me feel represented, because this movie is about a quiet, shy, socially awkward girl who has a lot of anxiety, a lot of social anxiety. She has hardly any friends. She has a really hard time making friends. And I had never really seen that performed so honestly and well than I had until I saw this movie. And I walked out of the theater thinking, oh my gosh, I've never related more to a 13-year-old girl than I do now. It just made me look back on my experience in middle school and high school and think, oh my gosh, if I had the opportunity to see this movie when I was 13, when I was 14, when I was 15 even, it would have changed my entire view, and it would have helped me to break out of my shell, I think, and it would have proven to me that there are people like me out there, and that I'm not alone, and that, you know, there is a way to be brave and to break out of that shell. And I feel like if you have a child who has a hard time making friends, is quiet, shy, the perfect child, and the fact that they aren't rowdy, they're not rambunctious, they don't get in trouble, I think they need to see this movie. Because they don't... You as a parent, even if you have a really close connection with this child, I don't think you really understand what they're feeling and what's going on in their head and exactly why they are the way that they are. And if you see this movie, you might find yourself connecting with the father character who goes through this journey of discovering why his daughter, you know, might not have many friends, and trying to help her and be there for her. And the entire story of the father in this movie, I feel like, is such a strong role model for parents, if that's even like a thing. It sounds kind of funny rolling off the tongue, but I believe it. It's like, it shows you a world that you didn't even know existed. This movie is just a great way to open up a dialogue. You don't have to question your children's use of social media after this movie. You don't have to question if they're being appropriate online or not. You just... The best way to walk out of this movie is to just sit them down and ask, how did you relate to this? What were your thoughts on the main character, her story, her struggles? Have you ever felt that way? You know, do I make you, as a parent, feel the way that she did because of her father at times? I feel like this movie, there's so many great things to talk about. And there's so many great aspects of this film, not just in filmmaking, because I don't know anything about filmmaking. I don't want to be film buff. I don't know anything about movies, but I know about experiences. And this movie is an experience. And I feel like that experience is something to talk about, and it needs to be talked about. And if you're worried about your 14-year-old hearing a few bad words in a movie, kids don't care about bad words. Bad words are only bad because adults tell us not to say them. It's coming from a 19-year-old who has used a fair bit of language in his life. Kids do it. It's whatever. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take your child to this movie. Now, here's some reasons to not take your child to this movie if they have not gone through the 8th grade yet. As cliche as it sounds, I know it's not a movie just about the 8th grade. It's a movie about, you know, growing up and experiencing new things. But I feel like if your child is still in grade school, especially, you know, early middle school, they won't be mature enough to handle the adult themes, and they might know bad words, but that's not the point. There are the themes and the things that you need to talk about with the older kids that they're just not going to resonate with the younger kids. You know, unless there's special circumstances, of course. I don't know the maturity level of a 10-year-old, say, but I would definitely not want a 10-year-old to see this movie, because I feel like if they're too young, it's just going to distort their worldview, kind of, in a way. Not so harshly, but I would not call this a family-friendly film. I would call this something that teenagers and adults even need to see. And if you're on the fence about it, you can go see it for yourself, and you might have an experience all on your own, like I did. You know, you may be an adult, 30s, 40s, and you might take away something you'd never thought of before. And you might think, well, yeah, I'm taking my, you know, teenage son or daughter to this film. It's going to be great for them. And it's going to give you a lot of ideas and starting points for dialogues that I feel like are really important. And I know every kid is going to go, I don't want to talk about it. No, but I'm telling you, if I was a teenager and my parents took me to this movie and asked me how I felt and how I related to the main character, it would have done wonders for me. My ability to open up, my self-esteem, my courage in school, it would have completely changed me in a very positive way. And so I ask you, please, to take your teenage son or daughter to see this movie. If they've asked about it, even if they don't know what it is, be like, you want to go to a movie? There's an R1, I'll let you see it, and they'll be happy. and then they'll get that experience. And it might be selfish of me to say, but I want everyone to be able to experience this movie. Just because of the impact that it had on me, I want other people to be able to have those experiences that I had in that theater. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped. If you don't have a child and you're thinking about seeing this movie, definitely do. I don't know anything about movies, but to me, it's a masterpiece. It really is. It's such an honest articulation of what it's like growing up as a shy, quiet kid, and I needed to see that movie. I'm at a point in my life where that movie really, just seeing it a few days ago, it has greatly helped me. And so if you need that help, or if you just need a way to kill 2 hours and you want to have fun, go see this movie. It's a blast. Even if you don't take away any of the messages or themes that I've talked about, it's hilarious, it's funny, it's relatable, it's a good time. And so thank you for hearing me out. I hope this video helped at all, and I wish you good luck in your movie seeing adventures.